Okay, give it a minute to be live. All right, I think we're live. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Talk. And today I have a friend, Ninfis Sanchez from Houston. Is it Houston? No.
Almost there, Mexico City.
Oh, sorry. Why did I think you were in Texas?
I don't know. What do you?
That is really interesting. I think I saw that on Facebook or something. Maybe I'm wrong. Oops. So from Mexico. Awesome. Welcome. And today we were going to talk a little bit about being out of control. Oops. Sorry. I am out of control of my computer.
Yes.
That's for sure. So, hi, how's it going?
It's going good. This whole topic of being out of control, I think that many people see it as a wrongness. You
Mhm.
know, you're taught to follow a process, do certain things in a certain moment, like keep an order of things. And when you don't see people following those guidelines, it comes to a point where like they're mad, they're out of control. Like, what are we gonna do with this people? It's like, it's always been like a wrongness. I thought it was a wrongness as well at some point, trying to keep everything in order. And when I couldn't keep up with myself doing that, then I would blame myself, like, well, this is why things didn't show up the way that I thought that they were going to show up, or this is why I'm not successful enough, or this is why my business is not having the success that I'm hoping it's having, like, because it all has to do with me and me not being like in order of things. Has that ever happened to you? Or
Oh, absolutely. Isn't it funny how the idea that controlling it all is supposed to give you what you think you want when when controlling it actually limits it incredibly.
Yeah, totally. And another thing is that when you let go of that control, like trying to get things right, trying to do it the right way, trying to do it the way that other people do it, when you let go of that, it's like this ease, like this total freedom of, oh, you can actually start relaxing. But it's not relaxing by just sitting on the couch and watching Netflix. It's actually another type of relaxation, and where you can actually see that if you start doing things the way that are, let's say, easiest for you, that are more fun, that are more exciting, the way that you actually do them, then you don't have like this pressure or like this, like little voice inside of you that you're doing things like incorrectly. You're just like in a different kind of space. And that space can be different for everybody. It could be doing 1,000 things at once, you know, like, or it could be like taking your time to actually acknowledge what would you like to do, who would you like to talk to, do you want to do it now or do you want to do it later, and it's a different space in where you can actually start being, I'd say, like more true to yourself, like more honoring of yourself, because you're being kinder in all of these things that you are choosing and that you are creating at the same time. Not comparing yourself as to you're doing it the right way, or like your friend did it, or like somebody else told you that you were supposed to do it.
Mhm.
That is just like, wow, like totally, totally different. And from there, it's like, okay, so what would you really like to do? You know?
Yeah, so true. I used to do these wholesale shows. I'm an artist, and you can see in the background of my jewelry. And I used to do these wholesale shows, and we used to, like, as it got closer and closer to the show, my husband and I worked together. The adrenaline and the stress level would get more and more. And when I started adding in the access tools, everything just relaxed and it got so much easier. And it was almost like I thought, am I missing something? Like, all of this stuff is getting done so easily, and I have space and I have time, and I'm like, what is this? And I realized that most people use stress to distract them from what they need to do. And if you took out all that stress, you can get however many things done in a really brief amount of time. And then you have just all this space. You don't need to fill it with stress. You can actually relax and enjoy and invite in possibilities.
I used to work up until 2 years ago. I used to work in the aerospace business, and I was in sales, and I used to travel a lot to do trainings and trade shows and visiting customers and all that. And it was always this thing that if I was stressed enough, it was my indication that I was doing enough. When I wasn't stressed, when I didn't have like that thing triggering my world, it was like something is missing. Like I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing it correctly. Like I'm not working enough, because I don't know, it was like this little like program that I had that stress equals you're working enough.
Right.
And when I got rid of it, it was like, wow, I could really be doing so much more if I just took away that stress factor.
Yep. And it's so different to function without stress. I rarely have any stress. It's really weird. I'm weird. I have no stress.
I think we don't really, like, when you're stressed, you don't really recognize that you're stressed, first of all, and when you start, let's say, lowering that stress, then you realize how much time and energy you really just spent with this nonsense. I would say, you can do everything that you're required to do, because being out of control is not you being lazy, not being responsible or not being aware of what is required to be done. You are. The only difference is that you are not in this stress level where you're constantly worrying of what you're supposed to do or if you did it, and you get things done. That's like, it sounds even weird that you can actually do things that way, without that stress level.
Yeah. But I have to say, I still feel like I'm never doing enough.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't have to include the stress, but like that's that always seeking greater possibilities. Yes. It's an energy that I'm aware of, that I know that there's more. And so it's not a wrongness, and it doesn't create this like, oh God, I have to do something, but it's like, it's what keeps you from becoming stagnant and being bored. There's a lot of people think that they have to have the stress to motivate them, but it doesn't, it's not required. You have it anyway.
Yeah.
That self-motivation.
Yeah. And I love that, because when you don't have that stress, you can actually be more curious of what you would like, and this constant, like, I want more and I want to explore more. And what if I do this? And what if I do that? That's always like this invitation to start looking for more things to do. When before I compared, like, if you have plants in your home, if you have, let's say, a certain number of plants, you can organize yourself and as to when are you going to water what plant, or if every day you need to water them. And, it's like you have like your little routine, right? I mean, you water your plants whatever way you do it, and you distribute your time that way. When if you have only one plant, you're constantly just focusing on, did I water it enough? Did I put more water in it? If it's sick, if it's not, like, you only have one thing to focus on. When if you have many of them, it's like each of them requires different attention, different days, different amounts of water you're supposed to put in. So it's like when you get rid of that control of you trying to do things in a certain way, it's not an assembly plant. It's not like you're creating a process, like you're not like in a production plant where you have a line of products that have to be done. It's like you can be creative and you can just like move around and do whatever is more interesting for you at that time,
Yeah. Even doing assembly, like creating an order for a store or for a customer, I can't even linearly do that, like lay all this out and then do this. And I always bounce around. Always. It's like a bumblebee going to the different flowers, and eventually everything all comes together. But part of the creativity and the being out of control is really being aware of when is going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything comes with ease. It's so funny. I used to make myself so wrong for that. And I was like, why can't I just do A, B, C, D, E? I just can't do it.
Oh, yeah. I used to struggle a lot, but I mean, a lot with it. And I used to blame myself a lot as well because I wasn't following the steps in the order or in the time that I should be spending, with one step or two steps. And then like this thing that you said that you're like a bumblebee and you go in different directions. For me, that's more fun to do that. And I know exactly what project or what creation requires my attention if I listen to myself. If I start making other people's points of views or their recommendations greater than what I know that is possible, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it's not enjoyable for me at all.
Yeah. So what kinds of things did you do to build your trust in what you know?
Well, I did follow like everybody's advice. I did, it's like I tried to create a process, and I tried to follow somebody else's recommendations, usually experts, because they know more than you know. And then when I tried it out, I started seeing that I couldn't, like, it didn't work. I got frustrated. I didn't want to do it. That was a big one. It's like, I didn't want to do it. I kept leaving it for later and later and later, and I didn't do it. So then I started being very, very honest with myself. And it's like, do I really want to do this? Yes. Do I want to do it that way? No. I want to do it my way, and not from the fact that I was right and I wanted to do things my way because my way was the best way, but more because I wanted to do it in a way that was kind for myself, that I could enjoy the process. And if that meant, like doing everything at once, putting some music on, or not working on a Monday and maybe doing it Saturday and Sunday, and that was like, oh no, it's not the work week. You shouldn't be doing it that way. It's like I started playing with that, like, what if I do this? Like, what would that be fun? No, it wasn't fun. Okay, then I go again and I changed it. And up until today, I don't have a process, or I don't have an order of things. It's just like really, really from what is going to be more fun for me to do today. What is it that I'm going to enjoy doing today? And it might not be clear for anybody else, but for myself, but it worked.
Yeah. The fun factor. It's interesting how when you're a kid, doing things for the fun of it is allowed. But then at a certain age, it's like you got to get serious and you got to grow up. And what do you mean fun and you're not happy? Like that has nothing to do with anything. But it actually does. Kids really, they have they have a leg up on living. And so what would it be like to actually follow that joy, the ease, the fun, and make that the most important thing in our day?
And you can be totally creative with it. Like I said, you can put on some music, or you can pour yourself a glass of wine, or you can, I don't know, like if you're working on a spreadsheet, like what if you put different colors to the formulas or to the tabs? It's like, what would be fun? It doesn't just, there's some things that do require to be done, like, I don't know, filing your taxes, maybe. But it's like, even those kind of situations where they do have an order of things, they do have a general process that you have to follow. How can you make it fun for yourself? You know, like you can always do that. So how are you going to do things that are going to start working for yourself? Try it out. Try it out. Just explore and see what that could be for yourself.
It's all good. Very true.
Yeah.
So this is like mostly talking about business so far. Are you in a relationship?
No, not just with myself currently.
Me neither.
Like, no.
That's one thing that might be interesting to explore, because I realized that most of my life I was in relationships, and like they, I guess their point of view and their whatever like led, although it's not necessarily true. I think I led too. But in any way, I gave myself up a lot in relationships, a lot. And it's interesting just, meeting people here and there and going on a date here and there, how different it is to be, what would you call it? Like a relationship with yourself and bringing that to another person.
I was going to say free.
Yeah.
I was going to say free because, I mean, I used to be, before I knew about the Access Consciousness tools. When I was in a relationship, I was always trying to please the other person. It's like, if they had an issue with me, like jumping up and down, let's say, I wouldn't do it, because, okay, this person doesn't like it, like, like I always tried to fit in, and I always tried to control myself with that. Now it's like, there may be moments where I can perceive where different energies are required, let's say, and I'm able to choose, like, am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? Am I okay with this? Am I not okay with that? But not from the need of being, like accepted or taken into consideration. It's more like, okay, so this is who I am. Hi.
Yeah. There was one time in my last relationship where I was eating watermelon and driving, and he was like feeding me pieces of watermelon. And at one point it was just not a great tasting piece. So I like spit it out the window. And he's like, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, but it didn't taste good. And he actually really liked that I would choose for myself at the same time as he didn't like that I would choose for myself. So it was always this kind of struggle thing. And it's just interesting, like, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to swallow that piece of not good tasting watermelon, or are you going to spit it out?
Yeah. Some people might have a problem with you spitting it out, but guess what? At the end of the day, you're the one swallowing it, not them.
Exactly. And you don't need to swallow anything that doesn't taste good or work for you.
Exactly. I guess that's the difference when you start choosing for yourself. It might look like spitting out the watermelon, or it might be like not going on a second date with that person. It's part of this exploration of you choosing and creating your life. Those little choices. It's not a big choice. It's just like, am I going to have this, or am I not going to have this?
Yeah. And like looking at, what are we doing it for? What are you choosing any of this for? What are you choosing the relationship for?
Yeah.
And what is it creating?
Exactly. And what I found out is that, talking specifically about relationships, I always felt wrong when I wasn't in a relationship, because everybody else wasn't in a relationship, or I was at a certain age where I was supposed to be in a relationship, or it was not well seen if you were not in a relationship, blah, 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 blah. And now it's like, well, what if I don't want to be in one? What if I just want to go out, have some fun, hang out every once in a while, but not actually in a relationship? Like, what is it that's working for me? When before I had like, the clock is ticking, like you're getting to a certain age, you're not in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, so what? I'm going to choose it when I'm going to choose it, but because it's going to be my choice,
It's going to be a sweet bite of watermelon.
Exactly. I'm going for the sweet watermelon, not the bitter one.
Or the one that has no flavor.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
That was such a great metaphor. That was such a defining moment.
I like that one. I'm going to use it next time I can.
Yeah, I did other things, that quickly too, because it's like, oh, this doesn't taste good. Spit, like, nope. I remember we were looking for a new place to live, and I walked into this one house, and as soon as I walked in, it was like, boom, all these entities, really creepy energy. And I was like, nope. And I turned around to leave, and he thought I was being so rude because I wasn't looking at the place and I wasn't looking at all the rooms. I'm like, nope, I know. The second I walk in, I know it's no. And we had this long conversation on the way leaving that place. And he's like, I can't believe how rude you are. And you embarrassed me. I'm like, this is my awareness. It's that fast. It has nothing to do with the person. I didn't want to waste their time. Mm-hmm. And like anywhere that you go into the wrongness of the speed of your awareness, let's pock and pod that for everybody out there who's ever been made wrong for your awareness. Right, wrong, good, bad, pock, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Because I did that a lot. It was like, why do I have to convince somebody else of what I know? I can just choose. And I'm not being rude. I just was choosing.
Yeah, for me, it's always been so funny, even before access tools. Why do people get offended when you say something or choose something? It's like, Like in that case, I mean, you were being you. Like, this is what works for me. This is how I am. This is the awareness that I have. It's like, and you take that action. And then all of a sudden you have a certain, group of people that are offended. They're embarrassed for your behavior. It's like, it's my behavior. It's like, there is no need for you to be embarrassed about it.
And then you're like, wait, did I do something wrong? What's going on? But when I found this place, I walked in the door and I was like, this is it. I'll take it. So like, I just know, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. That's that's the fun part of it, that most people like, just, you're like tiptoeing into your life. No, it's not about that. It's like, what are you going to choose that's going to be fun for you? Stop the tiptoeing thing.
No more tiptoeing. No, Gary says when people throw the eggshells out, and you're supposed to tiptoe around them, he says he likes to stomp on them. So stomp on those eggshells, be yourself, and choose what you're choosing boldly.
Exactly.
For the fun of it.
Yeah. Totally.
Love it. So what have you got coming up? What are you creating?
I am creating the Being You book club. We start tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be 6 sessions. I did it once about a couple of months ago, and it was just like, why isn't more people, like reading this book? And now it's like, I got the ping of, hey, like, is now the time for this to go out into the world, for more people to know the tools and explore it. So I'm starting that tomorrow. And then speaking about control, which is something that's been going on in my world, on Wednesday, I start a 10-day challenge of 10 days being out of control. It's the second edition. I did the first edition for 10 days, and I thought it was going to stop there. So apparently not. Apparently more people are willing to be out of control. So it's 10 days just to get like something moving out in your world. And then like, if you choose it, like what would it be to be more than 10 days out of control in your life? So this is just like the beginning of all of that.
Cool. What are you doing for the out of control thing? Is it like running out of control clearings?
We're running the out of control clearing 30 times each session. And then it's like, what is going on with the group of people who are being out of control these 10 days? Like in the last edition, there was a lady who's, I think it was the 3rd day that she was doing the out of control series. And she got notified that she needed to leave the house and where she was living with her children. So she was like, what? But then she came back and said, well, I was asking for something greater and I wasn't like willing to give that next step. So I moved things apparently. And now this is, this is being presented. And when you're out of control, it's not only, let's say, the being that it's being out of control, but also your body. So how much have you not allowed your body to also be out of control, to not make it, to not contract it, to not go certain places, to not enjoy certain things because you're the one who has a point of view about it, Yeah. So it's been interesting. I say that maybe the first few days are kind of like you going into the ocean and being swallowed by a wave and then being thrown, and then you're trying to get up and then the wave grabs you again and it throws you into the water. It may feel like that, but what I have realized is that after that, that's when the magic really starts occurring. The miracles, the things that you thought that were never going to be possible, it's like, it's only a few steps away. So
love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and the conversation, and hope you all enjoyed it. And have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are.
My pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.